All right, everybody, hello, and welcome to our assignment podcast for Internet of Things for SATE. I'm Quinn, and this is
Axel,
hi,
hi Quinn.
hi. So we're just going to be talking about NFC and the vulnerabilities included with it, and how our final project for IoT is involved with all that. So first off, let's start off with what is NFC. NFC is basically a form of RFID that is specified to really short range. So we got those little cards for laundry machines, for transit passes, for parking passes. A whole lot of public devices use NFC as their form of payment. And yeah, do you have a lot of interactions with NFC in your everyday life, Axel?
Yeah, NFC usually is like we can find it almost everywhere in our life, like starting from remote control, which is the easiest one we can find inside the house. Also, like goes to like the technology used for like cars, remote control for cars, starting the engine, like opening the doors. Also, we can find them like in banking, like. Bank our daily banking things using the cards like debit cards, credit cards also use a kind of NFC, and almost like they exist almost everywhere nowadays. And yeah, I agree with you. Like what you said a while ago, Queen. That's
Yeah.
yeah, like NFC or well, with it first it stands like NFC stands for a near field communication, which is a set of like communication protocol,
Correct.
and that enables a kind of two electronics device that communicates within their few centimeters for each others, and uh, usually this technology like help us in doing most of our like let's say we can see easiest job, or else it helps our like our in it help us and in our daily things. Yep.
Absolutely. It's something that even if you don't acknowledge it, it's something that you interact frequently with. If you use Apple Pay or Google Pay on your phone to tap on the reader, then that uses NFC. And that actually kind of brings us to our next point about vulnerabilities and how many different vulnerabilities are within NFC and the different types of attacks that can be done. Just to list off a couple of them, we have we have data tampering. So that would be when somebody manipulates the metadata within the NFC to provide a different output than what was intended by the client or the host. Data interception, so that's just eavesdropping. While it is made for near field communication, there are modules and extenders that threat actors can use to pick up NFC communications from a further distance than what is normally intended. One that we're specifically, sorry, actually, real quick. Another one is relay attack, which this one specifically threatens any kind of wallet or card where somebody can capture the signal that is being produced by your NFC and then reuse it at their own whim. So if somebody captures the NFC to your card that's attached to Apple Wallet, then that means that they're going to be able to use your card as if they have your Apple Wallet. But what we are specifically going to be focusing on within the context of our final is cloning. And that was our goal with our IoT project, was to create a device that can clone RFID NFC devices into and save it into the files and potentially read and write as well. One thing that we noticed with trying to implement this was that NFC has something called sectors, and each sector has its own specific key that is needed to decrypt the entire code so that it can be understood and manipulated and even copied. This posed a bit of an issue that I'll get into later. Um, but yeah, do you know of any other popular devices that do NFC cloning? Ones that have been in the
Yeah,
news specifically?
usually like in FC, like as I mentioned a while ago, does exist almost everywhere. Like nowadays, it is also integrated with too many like technology. Like you, even though like nowadays, was that some of the new like electrical cars nowadays, like Tesla, use a different like mechanism and technology, and it's also a kind of a part of NFC technology, which is recognized and detect like kind of like when it's in automation, when it works automatically, detects like the border of the car, detects all any object might affect the safety of the cars. And also it exists also in the big factories for manufacturing a lot of things. Like robotic also use a kind of an FC, and it uses this technology also to do like a kind of job that nowadays humans cannot, or else like easy tasks. Well, we can see easy tasks that humans are trying to avoid doing it. And uh, when we say NFC, like it's a very amazing, fantastic technology, and also like as it is a kind of advantage that does have also a disadvantage, which is a vulnerability can be explored or used by like attackers uh, nowadays. And
That kind of brings up a good
because
question that I have,
yeah,
actually.
yeah,
When consumers are exploiting NFC vulnerabilities, is the onus of responsibility, is that on the coders who created the vulnerability accidentally, or is it uh, the problem of consumers who exploit that? Because we've been seeing a lot in the news of specifically people getting in trouble for using devices like the Flipper uh, for exploiting these vulnerabilities. But in reality, it's these developers that haven't securely coded these devices that allow for these vulnerabilities to take place. Um, yeah, yeah.
yeah, and uh, exactly. So I think uh, when we say what's that? Sorry. uh,
It's
like
okay.
let's break down the two for everyone. I think
Yeah.
usually the NFC is a scanner. I'm trying to explain how kind of basic NFC scanner, how does it work. So the way it works is actually scan and copy. That is the main technology or main method how the NFC works. So when exactly sometime when it has a money, like for example the card, it's let's say a bank card, when it has like a money on it, we say it's we call it a state one.
Yeah.
So then the card is used for a transaction, for example, let's say for example to pay laundry. uh like once you pay with it, then the balance becomes zero, which is state two. So the way it works is there is a kind of program that states programs the number, programs the digit numbers inside the NFC, and once it's used, it moves from state one to state two. Uh, for example, for our projects, the device is willing to have kind of screen to display the card, like current state and any ongoing operation, plus like a cloud connection. Yeah, am I right, Queen?
Yeah.
Like when,
So
yeah,
our intention originally was to implement logging or sending files over the cloud to help with this device and just ease of file transfer, really. But that's kind of shifted a little bit with exploring the different cloud services such as AWS and ThingSpeak. We've kind of adjusted our goal to be more just create any kind of a communication that can happen between AWS and our device. Yeah, and to conclude, NFC is everywhere in our everyday lives, whether you know it or not. There is numerous vulnerabilities that are fairly easy to be exploited with just a little technical knowledge. And our IoT device is aimed at being a proof of concept for exploring that. And yeah, thank you very much for listening. I've been Quinn, and this is
Axel,
again. Yeah, and yeah, thank you very much for listening.
thanks everyone for listening for us. Thank you, Queen, and thank you so much. That's everything for today.
That's all. Goodbye.